Hey guys, it's Joey Gaming and welcome back to the Joey Gaming YouTube channel. In today's video, we're talking about a situation that occurred last night, and it's about Matpat. So yesterday or the day before, Matpat released a brand new FNaF game theory video, right? And it caused quite a controversy. If you haven't seen the video yet, go ahead and do so. If you want to, then that's okay. I'll give you guys a bit of a summary of what happened in his game theory video. Basically what happened is that there was this new FNaF book that came out, and it had many stories, FNaF stories combined together, and these were like cut stories, right? These were like stories that didn't make the actual approved list or whatever to be published, but for some reason Scott Cawthon or another organization behind FNaF or whatever, I'm not exactly sure who makes these books, if I'm being completely honest, if you decided, hey, you know what, all that unreleased content, let's make a book where we combine all three of them and have it, right? And I don't remember all the details in the book, but what I do remember is that one of the books is about, what's his name? Mike, which is one of the original security guards from FNaF 1, and he's helping out this kid that put on a mask that is possessed, which is possessed by one of the kids that got killed by the purple guy, or I think his name is Afton, I could be wrong, I'm not too caught up with the whole FNaF lore, but basically that's what's going on. There's another story where this guy snuck into a water park, like a FNaF water park, and got killed by a shark, an animatronic shark, which I never knew there was an animatronic shark, which is also the name of the book, which is like something with an F, I'm not sure. And then we have the third story, which I don't remember anything. Long story short, not Markiplier, Matpat was making theories about what was going on, what it is, and he got lost. He got completely stuck. And what he did is, oh, you know what? I do remember the third story. The third story is, this online blogger person, which she's trying, he or she, I think it's a she, she's trying to find out the whole FNaF lore or whatever. She's trying to figure out what's going on with Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and she goes ahead and she plays the game called Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Apparently all the FNaF games are canon. Like, you can actually, in the FNaF universe, play the FNaF games. Like, these games are actually based off of real events in the FNaF universe. Apparently, that's canon or something. I'm not exactly sure. It didn't really make sense in the video, in the game theory video, but, but whatever. The whole FNaF lore is just weird. It got weird after Sister Location, if I'm being completely honest, and that's the reason why I haven't kept track of the whole FNaF series, because the FNaF series just got really, really weird after Sister Location, with all types of weird stuff going on. But basically, you can play the FNaF games in the FNaF universe because those existed. I don't know, it's weird. And this online blogger person finds this, she goes into the game files of the game and discovers an image of a house, and that house is lead to a murder that happened in real life. And it's just a weird image, and and then this house is based off of a real murder that did happen, and it's a real place, and this is and it showed an image that happened. But what's really interesting is in the actual game files, in the real game of FNaF 3, there is no such image, and I will bring that up later in the video, right? And Matpat got really confused and stuck with some elements of the got really confused and got completely stuck. So he asked his community, his game theorist community, to help him solve it, to solve these things. So he went out there and said, hey, this might be an ARG, and if you don't know what an ARG is, it's like a real life type of game, like a scavenger hunt thing. So basically, the best example for this would be like Gravity Falls. They did an ARG. And it's like really cool, I guess. I don't know too much details. Another example would be like the Fortnite one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a little while ago, like a few years ago, the Fortnite was promoting their one of their seasons, right? And they put this hamburger in the middle of the desert, and it's like, you know, it's like about combining universes. I think it's like season 5 of chapter 1 around that time, and it's like about universes combining into one big universe or something. I don't know. It was just weird, right? And to promote it, they put this big hamburger in the middle of the California desert. So something like that, right? And usually when there's an event like that, like an ARG, right? Or whatever the heck you pronounce it, it's like a public thing, right? The developers behind it or the TV show behind it would announce it, right? Not make it a thing where, oh, guys, let me say that again. They're not going to make it like a secret type of thing. They would publicly announce it, right? And this is kind of where I had my first doubts about this ARG thing, you know? And, yeah. When I first heard about this whole situation, I was actually pretty conflicted, which, first of all, I just don't really think it's that big of a deal if Matpat, you know, tells his fans to look for stuff. Obviously, it's not okay for fans to actually look for, what's the word I'm looking for? To actually look up businesses and contact them, and I will get to that point anyway in a little bit. But in his video, Matpat's video, Matpat said that, hey, if you got any information, he basically encouraged everyone to go through the books, go through stuff, and actually try to look for any sort of evidence or leads to help him solve this theory, right? And he basically had a call to action to tell people to look for stuff. And I'll actually play that clip right now.
I am again at the end of my tether asking you for help once more. It seems like something's here, but if it is, I can't figure it out on my own. Maybe you're a theorist from Utah and you know the locations I'm talking about. Maybe you do know how to break open the files of a mobile game. Maybe you're as obsessed with this franchise as I am and you too have the coloring book and you notice something on those pages that I don't. We haven't let FNaF beat us yet, and we're sure as heck not gonna let it happen today. If you think you've gotten yourself some answers, or maybe just another lead, head on over to the Game Theorist subreddit to post your findings. I'm gonna be keeping a very close eye on this one, cause like you, I wanna see this franchise solved. Link is down in the description below to check out the Game Theorist subreddit. And speaking of what's below the video,
as you just heard, Matpat is now encouraging his subscribers to actually go ahead and look for potential leads for his theory. In this part of the video, Matpat never said to anyone to go ahead and dox locations, call people, or harass or trespass, outside of asking people who live in Utah if they have any information whatsoever. This will be important later, so keep that in mind. After this video came out, you know, Game Theory has a very loyal audience, and they started doing their own investigative research, right? Some people got into the game files of FNaF 3 on the mobile version. Some people started looking around stuff in Utah, and, you know, a lot of fans actually started calling and contacting a business in southern Utah. I actually have a Reddit post that I want to read. Hi, please stop calling my work or any other businesses. FNaF ARG. I work in a small diner in southern Utah, and we got 17 calls over my shift asking if we were Fazbears. Like, come on y'all, it's common sense. Don't be harassing people over something that may not even be real. Finding clues doesn't mean Google Freddy Fazbear's diner / pizzeria location. Any clues that does come out of this will come from in-universe evidence, so the games, books, website, etc. And not all ARGs have to be in the real world. Please stop taking the real locations and claim that they are fictional ones. And quit trying to literally commit crimes for the sake of evidence hunting. It's dangerous. Edit. I don't fault Matt for this event. I fault the dumb kids who think they can solve this never-ending mystery. I would like there to be an ARG, especially if it meant that it's based in my hometown. But again, please do not be harassing people, especially people in the smaller towns. Most of them probably don't know what FNaF is. FNaF is a fictional story with elements of the real world. That's why it's effective horror. Update. I am asking my coworker if they got any anonymous calls, and they did. They had to turn off the main phone for the night. As you can see, there are some fans in the fandom that are now harassing businesses, asking them if they are Freddy Fazbear's. Luckily, this business owner or worker or whatever is cool with it and actually understands FNAF. But, you know, most businesses probably don't know what FNAF is because they don't play the games, right? And they might be very confused on why they're getting all these calls. The next Reddit post that we'll be taking a look at is a mod announcement on the subreddit r/GameTheorists. By the way, guys, if you want to check out these Reddit posts, then I'll put all the links for them in the description if you guys want to check them out. Anyways, this is a mod post telling people about the FNAF ARG rules and stuff and what you should and shouldn't do. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. FNAF ARG caution. Hello everyone, as y'all might know, there's a new FNAF video with a mention of a possible FNAF ARG. There has also been some major concerns with this as well, so let's get some stuff straight. Ground rules. Don't spread any locations or numbers, do not call any numbers, do not go to specific addresses, do not harass any location you think might be involved with this. While this is a potential ARG, your safety and the peace of uninvolved people are an absolute priority. We are still not 100% sure if this is even an ARG at all, so try not to harass any locations you think might be involved with this. If you see others trying to call businesses or suggest visiting places, use the handy report button or send us a mod mill with the concern. Long story short, there is so much traction about this controversy that the moderators of the subreddit are now encouraging people not to call numbers or to spread information. Personally, I do not think there is an ARG, and I'm going to show you why. The next Reddit post I'm going to show you is a comment to the feed I just showed you, to the mod mill, and it's by the name of Representative Item 30. And he said, I recommend reading Scott's own words concerning the updating of Freddy files to understand that there is no ARG. Official statements. Who made the red markings? September 3rd, 2017. There's actually an interesting answer to the question of who exactly was marking proportions in red and making notes in TFF. In the beginning, there was an idea that the book should be from the perspective of an in-universe investigator trying to solve the murders from FNAF 1. You're the band. However, that scope seemed too limited and wouldn't be able to discuss gameplay strategies, since it was an in-game character. Then it was changed so this perspective would be from out-of-universe members of the FNAF community, the Scoop. Also investigating, trying to piece together the puzzle, but this would have ultimately been disappointing since the book wasn't designed to solve anything. So, then it was changed to be an in-universe online blogger, trying to solve the mystery, but who had an alternative agenda. Felix the Shark, and was trying to mislead the reader of the book. However, this was effectively creating an in-universe character and adding to the lore, which I didn't want to do. So the identities of the author changed many names, and the underline of the red markings are the remembrance of those previous characters. 2 in-universe characters and 1 out. One of them was on a mission to solve the murders. You're the band. One was on the trail to solve the game, the Scoop, and one was on the trail to deeply mislead you, Felix the Shark. It's not an ARG, it's just Scott's writing style. And then he had a link to Scott's official words, which is on the Steam page. What you gotta keep in mind, and I'm pretty sure I said this earlier, but I'm gonna repeat it anyways. But this is all cut content from the past, right? Like, these are 3 stories mixed into one book. These were cut content, and they were cut for whatever reason. And one of the reasons is that people would think that is an ARG, and I'll explain why. So one of the books, I think it's called The Scoop. One of the stories inside the book, The Scoop, right? Or The Scope, or Scoop, one of the two, I don't know. That's the one with the online article, right? Not article, the online blogger, right? And the blogger was going into the game files of FNAF 3 to look for a potential file that would lead them to a real-life location, to a real-life murder, and a real-life missing child report, right? And you can see why that one did not get out, right? You can see why it was cut, because Scott Cawthon or whoever made these books, right, or the author, didn't want to actually mislead people and to think people that there is an actual ARG. So it kind of makes sense why they cut it, because they didn't want people to think that there is an actual ARG when there isn't, because it was a storytelling element, you know? Speaking about getting into FNAF 3's game files, I found someone on Reddit who did that exact thing. This guy by the name of Been Here Way Too Long posted the following on Reddit. Keep in mind, I'm not going to read the whole thing, only the title and what he shared. There are no unused textures in the mobile ports of FNAF 3 that show any real-world locations. It was made up exclusively for the scoop. And in the post that he made, he shared a link to a Google Drive which contained all the files for FNAF 3. I went through the whole files and I did not see any photos of any houses or any unused files that suggested that this is a real place. So I can confirm that element of that has been, made up for the scoop. You may be thinking that I am done debunking the ARG stuff. No. In fact, I have one more thing I want to share with you guys, and this final piece of evidence is going to put the nail in the coffin behind the ARG theory. This Reddit post is made by Springtrap Attacks, and he says, from the Felix the Shark book, don't be an idiot. And this is a part of the book, and it says the following. This book is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidences are either the product of the author's imagination or are used fictionally. And any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, business, establishments, events, or locals is entirely coincidental. Which means that an ARG is not possible or planned, because it's not real whatsoever. So, guys, don't be an idiot and try to contact businesses, because there is no ARG or actual lore linked to the real world whatsoever. Sure, there might be some stuff that might be inspired, right? I think the author of the book, right, grew up in Utah, right? He or she grew up in Utah and got some ideas from the stories, but that doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the places or events are real, That's all I'm just saying. Or if it's official or not, because once again, guys, if this was an official ARG, I would feel like Scott Cawthon would come out and announce it, or whoever is behind Five Nights at Freddy's would come out to announce it, but it just isn't the case, And do I really think it's Matpat's fault? No. And that's actually going to upset a few people, and let me tell you why I don't think that it's really Matpat's fault. Yes, Matpat did encourage people to look for stuff to support his theory and all, and yes, that is true, but at the time, Matpat thought this was an actual ARG theory, because, we didn't have a lot of evidence that supported there isn't outside of the whole book stuff, because he's not a hacker, he can't get into the FNAF files and stuff, but yeah, so I can understand his theory that, hey, this could actually be an ARG, and he's just basically asking his fans to help him look for evidence to support his theory, he never told anyone to dox or harass or contact anyone, the fans themselves just did that on their own, so it's just not okay to blame Matpat on the situation. Did he start the situation? Yes, he did, but he's not at fault for any of the doxing, In fact, if you want to blame anyone out of this whole situation, blame the FNAF fans themselves, because they're the ones that are the ones contacting these businesses, all right? Anyways, guys, that's my whole take about the latest cancellation on Matpat /Game Theorist. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider liking and subscribing. Also, one last thing. I want to let you guys know that I'm currently doing a Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Let's Play, a series on it. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and check that out. In fact, episode 7's coming out tomorrow, and it's about Music Man. And ooh boy, let me tell you, that was an intense video. I swear, it was really intense when I recorded it, and it was really intense when I was editing it. So stay tuned for episode 7 because it's really insane. And let me tell you, it's just absolutely insane, right? I died 500 times on Music Man. You're going to see what I mean. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Matpat, you're not at fault, but maybe you should make a clarification post saying, hey, don't actually dox people, you know? But that's my that's my take on the whole situation. Anyways, guys, have a great day and see ya. Peace. Bye.